Utopia releasing July 28th, and Drake rumored to release For All the Dogs soon, as well as Future teasing a new album. I wanted to talk about the hip-hop albums that have released this year so far, or at least the ones I thought were worth talking about. I'm going to start from the beginning of the year and move forward throughout the year. The first project I want to start with is Yeat's newest album, Afterlife. This project was released in February of 2023 and has bangers like No More Talk, Rave Party, and Split. Afterlife was also a pretty long project, yet I didn't find myself bored with really any of the songs. Yes, there's a couple I don't like, but I still found myself enjoying a certain aspect of those songs. Other notable songs from Afterlife would be Seven Nights, Back Up, Heavyweight, and Demon Tide. These songs, even by themselves, I find really fun. The last thing I wanted to mention about this album is that Yeat really went in and delivered with some different styles than what he's used to, still able to make it sound really good. Afterlife was a fun and exciting experience and would recommend it to any hip-hop fan. The next album that released this year that I wanted to talk about is Lovesick by Don Toliver. This album has really grown on me. Honestly, at first, this album was kinda boring to me and felt like a lot of filler from Don. As time went on and I listened to the album in some different environments, I started to see the appeal. It definitely isn't all hip-hop on this project. Don tries some other styles like R&B, which he has done in the past, as well as incorporating some pop elements into a lot of the project. Is this Don Toliver's best album? Definitely not. You have a lot of good tracks on here like Love Sickness, Time Heals All, and Embarrassed with Travis Scott. Those are more of the hip-hop songs, but Don still has other good tracks that are a little different but can grow on you. Songs like Let Her Go with James Blake and Go Down. Overall, Don Toliver gave us a good album with some fun tracks that can grow on you. The next album I want to talk about is actually an artist I don't think I've ever talked about before, and that is Choppa. He released his newest album, Cottonwood 2. This album surprised me a lot. In all honesty, I only listened to this album because I was looking for some new music and saw he had released a new album. This project has a lot of tracks where Choppa is really going in when he's rapping, and that's what this album is mostly focused on. That doesn't mean he didn't have good production, because he had some really great production on some of the songs here. He had some truly amazing features from guys like Lil Wayne, Fabio Foreign, and G Herbo. This project also saw NLE trying some new things, like him doing the UK drill sound, even having a song called In the UK. This project was really good and another step in the right direction for Choppa. Songs to check out would be Drop Top, Ain't Gonna Answer, Mo Up Front, In the UK, and Dope. The next album I want to talk about is Homicide Gang's Snot or Not. Now, people always want to bring up the situation with Homicide Gang with Bino allegedly texting underage girls, and it's hard to talk about this album and not bring that up, because this album was released shortly after the allegations came out. And a lot of people online made connections that Homicide Gang just released this to quiet down the allegations and they can just keep growing without people saying they're weirdos. But all of that aside, Snot or Not was really good and in my opinion better than Homicide Lifestyle. It really felt like Homicide Gang tried some new things with these songs and progressed their sound that is within the Opium sound. This project also felt a lot more cohesive than Homicide Lifestyle. Each song really flew really well into each other. Songs I'd say to check out would be ADHD, TNT, Dive In, Uzi Work, and Block Work. The next two projects I'm going to talk about released on the same night, and the first one I'll talk about is Highway's Monochrome. This album shocked me with how good it is. I will say Highway has a more R&B style to his music, so if you aren't a huge fan of that style of rap, then you might not be a fan of this album. Highway still has bangers on this project that are still super hard though. I think what surprised me the most about this album was how good the production is on every single track. Highway really truly delivered with this album. Songs to check out would be B&W, Show Goes On, Jet, Fuck a Rubber Band, and On Dat Shit. The second album that released the same day was If Looks Could Kill. And I've already talked about this album a little bit in past videos about Opium. Just to clarify and say again, I really liked If Looks Could Kill. I know there's been a lot of mixed opinions with If Looks Could Kill, but I really enjoyed it. I loved how Lone uses guitars within the production. It was a nice new sound. And I do think Lone brought hype on this album with songs like Fly Shit, Raver, and Money and Sex. Yes, this album is overall much more chill than No Stylist, but I still enjoy If Looks Could Kill just as much as I enjoyed No Stylist. Songs I'd say to check out would be Fly Shit, Raver, Came In With, Chris Paul, and Money and Sex. The last two albums I'm going to talk about, I've also talked about in past videos, but I'll still go over them. The first one I'm talking about isn't technically even an album this year, but it's Sofago's Go EP. This project was a huge step in the right direction for Sofago. He had a lot riding on this project because of the hate he was getting from the disappointment of Pink Hearts. I think Sofago delivered a great project with a lot of old sound but with a new twist added in. He also has taken a lot from being under Travis Scott's wing, and you can tell from the production on this project. Of course, for Sofago, we want to see him get that feature on Utopia, which will help him in an insane amount of ways. Songs I'd say to check out would be Pier, F a Post, On the Moon, Backseat, and Wish I Could Tell You. The next and final album I'll be talking about is Pink Tape, which released just under a month ago. Pink Tape, as I said in past videos, was a huge mixed bag of an album, but with that being said, there is a lot of good in this album, but also a lot of different styles of Uzi. Lil Uzi Vert gave us a few rock-inspired songs that weren't really for me. Pink Tape also had the classic Uzi we've come to expect on albums. This album just felt like a weird combination of a bunch of different songs Uzi has been working on over the years, as well as a handful of classic Uzi songs. Songs I'd say to check out would be Flooded the Face, Suicide Doors, A, All Alone, Patience, and Zoom. So those were all the albums that I've listened to this year that I thought were at least worth talking about, as well as some of them being very good albums. As I said at the start of the video, we have a lot of albums that are being teased from a bunch of bigger artists, so I wanted to get this video out before those albums are released to talk about the albums that have been already released this year. It's very easy for artists to get overshadowed by huge artists like Drake and 21 Savage and Travis Scott, but I wanted to make this video to talk about the smaller artists as well as some bigger artists like Sofago and Highway, and then the bigger artists being Uzi and I guess Destroy Lonely. Let me know what your favorite hip-hop album of the year is so far, and let me know what you thought of this list, and thanks for watching.